Hello, everybody. Welcome to our practice today. I suggest to begin lying down. For the practice, I have barely any props today, by the way. I've placed one block there. This could be useful to have. And I've got the standard, just a single blanket for cushioning knees, head, and so forth. So that is all that I prepared for today. Not much for you to do. If you don't have a block, you know how to replace that. A sturdy cushion, gentle pile of books, and then coming to lie down on your back. So you could lie down, keep your knees bent. If you've got a bolster at home, you could have that underneath your knees. You could also choose to extend your legs out for now. Let your arms flop and rest. Perhaps sliding the shoulder blades a bit under so they come closer underneath your back. You might choose to close the eyes and take a few deeper breaths in. Perhaps even a top-up breath. And letting your breath escape slowly through the mouth. Deep breath in, top-up breath, and breath out of the mouth slowly. Last round, breathing in, top-up breath, and out of the mouth. Then allow yourself to be. Let go of any stress across your shoulders, and you can wiggle them again to find a bit more comfort, perhaps. Let stress go from your lower back and pelvic area, and if you need to change the way you're lying here, please feel free to do so. And as you could choose to close your eyes or steady your gaze up towards the ceiling, take a note of how your mind is going this morning. Has it woken up with thoughts and worries? Things you might have processed during your sleep? Is your mind already irritated by external things that might have happened? And how is your energy level today? You feeling heavy? You feeling comfortable? Or do you feel particularly light, as if the wind could carry you away? Do you feel solid the way you are? Or do you feel like you can easily go in any direction today? And all of these just observations. No matter what you find out about yourself while you're on the mat is a simple preparation for your daily living. So take in what you feel and experience here. Be mindful not to cause any harm to yourself, but perhaps exploring concepts of being just that little bit more deeply while on the safety of your own mat. What we explore today is a raising of energies. We're combining the Vata energy, the light energy, the wind, and we combine that with the element of fire, that energy that can transform, combined with destroying what we don't need. The fire can burn. And once we've created space, a fire to create change, then we will use the space that we might have created with the Vata energy to step into. If any of this scares you right now, feel the ground back underneath. This beauty of the yoga practice that lets us work with the different elements while still keeping other elements with us to support us, ultimately creating a balance within ourselves. You might allow your breath to deepen now, feeling the air moving through you, in and out. Perhaps the different quality of the air moving in to that of the air moving out. And this air that you're breathing in and breathing out is the same air that everyone else is breathing in and out. A direct connection, not only to other human beings, but also to nature, other living species. As you allow your breath to nourish you, flow deeply in and out of the nostrils. Full, deep, slow breathing. Notice if your breath is freely flowing or if you feel a little bit restricted. And perhaps aiming to relax into the breath while it still flows deeply in and out of your nostrils, allowing yourself to notice that it is expansive and that on the other end, you're releasing the breath out, providing space for your next breath in. If you had a bolster underneath your knees, I suggest to bend the knees and push the bolster out and away from you. If you had your legs out long, you might choose to bend the knees, place the feet down, feel the ground underneath the soles of the feet, the earth again to hold you, to stabilize you. Then lifting both feet off the floor and placing one hand onto each kneecap. Begin to circle your knees away from each other and then back in close. Moving each knee away from the other to join them back in circles. Our first movement into the hip joint to find a bit of ease there. Also energetically still part of our foundation. Pause as you hug the knees in and then keep them together while you move them away before you separate them again. Or simpler said, move them in the other direction. Perhaps you also experience a bonus here of a gentle massage in the lower back region. Then pause, give both knees a good squeeze in. Before you keep a hold of the right leg and place your left foot down onto the ground. Encouraging your right ankle to rest to your left thigh and guiding your knee out into the open space using the right hand. This might be plenty. Please feel free to stay right here. If you like, arms can lengthen now along the sides of the body, the palms touching the floor. And with the breath in, squeezing your buttocks muscles to lift your hips up, or a bridge shape. One leg stays up, the knee is heavy, falling out to the side, squeezing the hips up high. And then slowly rolling your spine back down onto the floor. Bringing your right arm through between the legs as you lift your left foot off the ground, perhaps taking a hold of the back of the left leg. You can use your right elbow to keep the knee outward. And you might even have an ever so subtle rocking from side to side. You might find a tight spot in which you could gently move through. Tiny little bounces perhaps into a tight spot. Holding here, as you could choose to release the right arm, cross your legs completely, and then hug both knees in towards your chest. Option, out breath, nose to your knees. Releasing the head back down, leaving your legs crossed as you place your foot back onto the floor, opening your arms out gently. And as you next exhale, letting your legs crossed as they are, roll towards your left. Settle in and allow the right shoulder to be grounded. And only a maybe, turning your head over towards the right, going into a deeper twist. Deep full breath now. Perhaps letting it slowly escape the mouth. Then let your legs uncross and guide them both back to center. Letting your arms relax and bringing the left knee in towards the chest. Right foot stepped onto the mat. As you could place your left ankle to your right thigh. Use the left hand then to guide the leg away from you. Option to reach your left arm through, but not yet. Let your arms relax by the sides first. Apologies, palms touching the floor. Squeeze your buttocks as you breathe in and raise your hips up, finding that three-legged, so to say, bridge shape. Keep the left knee heavy and squeeze your hips up into the air. And on your out breath, rolling your spine back down onto the floor. Now you might use your left hand, reach that through between the legs, pick up your right leg and maybe take a hold behind it. Your left elbow might guide the knee open as you hug the legs in towards you. I always keep a strong flexion in the ankle joint to protect the knee here, just in case there's things going on in your knees. And as you might choose to let go of your left arm, sliding your left leg over completely and taking a good squeeze of both legs inwards. There's the option of raising the head on the out breath and drawing it up towards the knees. Then let your upper body relax back to the ground, landing your foot back to the mat, but leaving your legs crossed, opening your arms out as you breathe in, and then letting your knees roll over to the right, crossed as they are. Aiming to keep the left shoulder grounded and perhaps turning the head towards the left. A few deeper breaths here. Deep breath in. And maybe a breath from your mouth slowly. Then perhaps uncrossing your legs, lifting the knees back into the center, releasing your arms and perhaps letting the knees just fall out to either side. We won't stay here for too long. Allowing the knees to be quite heavy as they fall, and perhaps noticing the sensations you experience. You could then lift your knees again and choose to roll over onto your favorite side. The top hand here might guide you up towards a seated position. Now I will choose an easy pose to sit in, and for that I will choose to place a block down onto the mat. I will come up to the screen and show you the mudra we'll be playing with, so just in case you don't get lost, please. So the mudra is where we have the palms of the hands facing each other. We're basically crossing here and then hooking up the thumbs. There's a gentle pull on the thumbs for this Garuda mudra, and we will play it with both hands in front. I will guide you towards that. So as we come to sit down first, don't worry about the mudra straight away. If an easy pose is not yours, extend your legs out or find a different form that you can easily sit on. Letting your hands release here. We'll take a deep breath in to open the arms to begin with. Coming into light back bend. And with the out breath, just embracing your shoulders for now. And maybe hugging in as you round your spine. For the inhale, open the arms again, lift your heart, find that back bend. And on the out breath, take the other arm on top, hug yourself again, round and lean into your back. We'll open the arms again, breathing in. A light twist where the leg is in front as you breathe out. An inhale to open the arms back out. And an exhale to twist to the other side. Inhaling to open your arms again. Releasing your hands or fingertips down behind. And if you have a certain cross of the legs, perhaps changing that cross. Opening your arms back out as you take your next inhale. This time crossing the hands as you hold the palms to face, hook up your thumbs, find the mudra and let that rest down in front of your heart space. Maintain a slight pull on your thumbs, have long fingers, shoulders are easy, perhaps closing your eyes. This is Garuda mudra. It's there to balance the air, the wind element, Vata energy. It has the ability to activate blood flow, invigorate us, and bring general balance to the energies. It might also encourage a deeper breath. On a breath in now, reach this mudra up and start to twist again as you breathe out, turning to your favorite side perhaps. As you reopen the arms, another breath in. Crossing the hands again in front and perhaps changing the hand you have in front if you do remember or your body does. Lower Garuda mudra back in front of your heart space. Maintain a light pull of your thumbs. Eyes can be open and steady, or eyes could be closed. Taking a few deeper breaths, you aim to balance the energies. Perhaps you feel a sense of empowerment through this mudra, a better flow. On the next breath in, reaching your arms back up, dissolving the mudra, and on the out breath, a twist towards the other side. Let's open the arms out one more as you center. And then releasing your hands down in front. I'd ask you to come away from your seated position. So if rolling over the ankles like this isn't yours, please swing your feet out towards the sides. I will use my blanket now as a cushioning for the knees and place that across my mat as I step the knees on. The hands are going to spread out unless you have any hand or wrist aches, then perhaps stepping up onto fists and pointing your thumbs forward. Keep your fingers spread out and land the knees, the tops of the feet onto the ground. Taking a breath in, a quite neutral spine. A breath out to round into the cat. Breath in, you can choose between neutral or lifting tail and gaze. The out breath to round the spine. Stay with that for a couple more breaths, breathing in and out to round. Last one. Remaining around it. Sitting gently back towards the heels if this works for you. And turning the palms of the hands to face upward. As you hook your thumbs back up, the mudra sits again in front of the heart. Snuggle your elbows in and see if you can lower the head down. For me, this is not quite working, so I will choose to place a block in front of me, so to rest the forehead upon. Maintaining that gentle pull on the thumbs as we work with the mudra. Keeping a deeper breath flowing, so you might feel that breath expanding into the ribs. Perhaps you even feel the impact of the mudra on the breath, whatever that might mean for you. Releasing the hookup of the thumbs, perhaps removing the block. Extending your arms back towards the front and on the breath in, lifting the hips away from the heels. Tucking the right side toes under as you slide the leg out long. And begin to lean a little bit into the leg, the heel pushing out. Then lifting the leg, but bending the knee and starting to circle this knee in the air. Then changing the direction of the circle. And then a breath in to extend the leg and the spine out long. And on the out breath, drawing the knee in towards the chest and an aim to land the foot forward in between the hands, perhaps wiggling it there. Let your head drop, your upper body be supported by the front thigh. And the breath out to uncurl the spine as you come to stand on the back knee and the front foot. Opening your arms back out wide as you take a breath in and lift your heart. On the out breath, cross the wrists, hook up your thumbs and place your mudra down in front of the heart space. Can you align yourself here about hip distance stance, front hip ever so slightly drawing back and really supporting with the shin, the top of the foot and the sole of the foot at the front. Finding your eagle mudra. An option to lean the spine forward, but not changing anything else. And perhaps you notice the lower abdominal muscles switching on, supporting you. A breath in to open the arms wide as if you were flying. An out breath to bring the hands back down to frame the front foot. Now step the knee back as you find again to all fours. An inhale for lengthen your spine. An out breath to round the spine and reaching your bottom back towards the heels. I will bring my block back in as a support. I'm crossing palms facing my chest, the thumbs back, but in that way that I wouldn't go for without thinking about it. So changing the hand in front, resting the forehead down onto a support or the floor and maintaining that light pull of the thumbs. The thumbs in the Chinese medicine area are associated with the lungs as we expand into them. It's interesting sometimes how these energy patterns are matching despite them coming from different traditions. Few deeper breaths through the nostrils. Still present and aware of the energies that you are creating as you might lift your head, release the mudra, place your prop back to the side, extend your arms forward and take an inhale to come back onto the hands and the knees. Tucking your left side toes under as you slide the leg out long on the mat. Encouraging perhaps back into the heel of your left foot. Lifting the left leg up and a bend to the knee as you open the knee out to the side. Begin to circle the knee in the air. And changing direction of the circle. Extending the leg one more time on a breath in, find length in your whole body. And with the out breath, drawing the knee into the chest, aiming to land the foot forward in between your hands. Allow your head to hang, your upper body be supported by the front thigh. And then a breath out to uncurl the spine. Opening the arms back out wide. And again, as you cross in front, changing the hand on top. Little pull on the thumbs, but shoulders easy and mudra resting in front of the heart. Finding back to a hip distance stance. And then drawing the front hip lightly back. Getting that extra support from the sole of the foot at the front. Shin perhaps and top of the foot at the back. Your mudra. As your gaze might be steady here, the breath is still flowing. And on the next out breath, if it feels right, just leaning a little bit forward. Notice the changes in the core muscles. Whatever else helps you to stabilize here. An in-breath now to open your arms out wide. And an out-breath to release the hands down to the floor. Tucking your backside toes under, lifting the knee away from the mat and stepping your foot towards the front. Hover now behind me, release the blanket to the side. And on the next exhalation, beginning to uncurl the spine, rising to a stand. Take the shoulders with you as you give them a shrug down and turn the palms of your hands forward for now. So I suggest to bring a little rocking action down into your feet and starting to feel more grounded through the soles of the feet, a bit more support from the earth before you land in your mountain stance. Let the inner heels draw inwards to create strength and stability. Then open your arms back out wide as you take a breath in and finding back to Garuda Mudra as you breathe out, letting that rest in front. You can choose to close your eyes or keep your gaze steady. Beside the mudra now, we bring in a mantra. The mantra is instilling the fire energy. It is Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. Repeating that silently to yourself. Om Agnaye Namaha. Releasing the mantra and extending the arms up, taking a breath in. As you release your arms by your sides, stepping your right foot back out to hip distance and taking a bend into the front knee. You might reach your arms up here and find a warrior one. Arms extended too much, draw hands to Anjali Mudra at heart center. Pulling your feet lightly in toward each other, shoulders easy or arms extended upward. Maybe your gaze is lifted, maybe you're looking straight towards the front. Taking another deep breath in this shape. Then let's all bring the hands down to touch at the heart. Finding weight bearing in the front foot as you place the weight there deliberately. Then push into that front foot and see if you can step back with as little movement as is possible. We'll repeat that action a few times. So step back forward with the left foot, bend the knee, lean the weight forward into this foot, and then push the floor away as you land at the back in a mountain shape. We'll repeat that one more time, stepping the left foot forward, a bend into the left knee, the weight sitting or leaning forward into the foot, and then pushing it away as you come to stand again. This time we will only take the step forward. I'd ask you to open your arms out wide while you lift your back heel. Keep your arms out wide as you take the leg from the back and cross it over while you bend into your standing leg as well as if you were sitting a little bit lower, bar stool style. And then taking your right arm in front as you hook your thumbs up. And instead of the eagle pose, we will use the eagle stance with the eagle mudra. So keeping that little pull on your thumbs, Those of you wanting to balance more, take your big toe off the floor and squeeze your legs together while maintaining that pull on your thumbs. Garudasana, the eagle. Similar to the kneeling lunge, you could choose with your long spine to lean a little bit further forward, challenging your legs, challenging your balance. We'll take a flight, raising the elbows as wings, the knee comes up, and then landing back onto the ground. Turn the hands forward, find your stance, whether there's a lift, another connection down to the soles of the feet. And as you come back to mountain pose, squeezing your inner heels back together, open your arms out wide and open your heart. Deep breath in. Changing as you bring the other hand in front. Hook the thumbs up. Draw that back down to your heart space. Keep the inner heels active toward each other. Steady your gaze or close the eyes. And come back to the invocation of the fire element in your mind. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. Repeating that silently. Om Agnaye Namaha. On your next in-breath, open the eyes, reach the arms up. As you open your arms, stepping your left foot out to the side and back. As you take a bend into the front knee, pulling the feet lightly in, and perhaps lifting the arms. Your choice of keeping them here or drawing hands down to heart already, depending on your shoulder health. Arms might stay extended here for a while. You could even lift your gaze upwards or find a steady gazing point ahead of you. Feeling the strength of your warrior shape. The strong support from the ground, the earth. If your arms are extended now, bring them into touch in front of your heart center, Anjali Mudra. Or lean the weight forward into the front foot. And then with as little movement as possible, push the earth away and step the foot back. We'll repeat the right foot steps forward, bring a bend into the knee. Shift the weight to the right foot. And then push away the floor as you come to stand at the back end. Stepping forward one more time, bending into the knee. And another weight leaning forward, stepping back. We'll take the last step forward to stay here. And inhale to open your arms out wide as you lift your back heel. Then take the back leg and swing it over to cross over the other. While you bend your standing leg as well, your big toe could be on the floor. Changing again, the hand on top, left in front, as you pull that mudra back down in front of your heart space. Keeping the light pull on the thumbs. Option to lift your big toe off the floor and hug the legs together a bit more. Aiming for balance in your eagle shape. And as an option, leaning further forward, but keep your spine nice and long as you might in that process sit a little bit lower into your legs. Then let's lift the elbows like the arms were wings. Lift your knee up, land the foot down, release your arms, turn the palms forward, find your stance on your mat and take a deep breath in, allowing a sigh out. Let's come to turn towards the long side edge of the mat and stepping the feet out wide. Turning the right toes to face to the short edge of the mat, the left heel a tad bit out. As you find your stance here now, hips open towards the long side edge of the mat. Could you take your arms out to either side? Perhaps turning your gaze forward. I've got my palms facing upward. That's only to accommodate my shoulder issue. Traditionally, the palms here are facing downwards. But more important, finding the ease in your shoulders. If you feel solid here, start pulling the feet lightly inwards to nourish the strength, and then tilt it. As you exalt the warrior, back hand is gently resting, other arm is reaching up and back. Bending your back knee as you roll your arm in, turning your toes out, and taking a deep breath to circle the arms upward. Find the hook of your thumbs again as you settle into your goddess shape. That light pull on the thumbs, the shoulders easy, the legs wide, and sinking into your stance. And inhale now to straighten the legs and reopen the arms. Turn your toes inward, outer edges of feet parallel. Option, interlacing hands behind the back. As you lengthen the arms down all the way from the back, lift your heart space. Then bend your knees and begin to fold forward. Arms may rest on the back here or come away from the back as you enter your standing forward bend. Releasing your hands back down towards the ground. And inhale as you lengthen the spine forward. And exhale as you fold back down. Use your next out breath to uncurl your spine. Give the shoulders a little lift and a shrug down. And then we will change our sides. Left toes turning to short edge. Right heel towards the other side. A little bend into the left knee. And the hips facing towards the long side, so open. Once you've got your stance there, feet might draw inwards. And arms could lift outward. Same option here, letting shoulders be restful as you might extend your arms and change your gazing point over the front hand fingertips. Feeling the strength of your warrior shape as you keep your hands turned, starting to exalt the warrior. Legs are unchanged, the same strength, the same alignment, but the upper arm is reaching up and back. So rather than softening, see if you can stretch a little bit further in that direction. The exalted warrior. As you bend your back knee, let your arm fall in. Turn the toes to the corners. Open your arms out wide and find that other cross of the hands as you settle in back with your eagle mudra. As you settle into your stance. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. On your next in-breath, straighten the legs, turn your toes in, reach your arms out. And as you might find another interlace behind your back, changing the top fingers, lengthening your arms down away from the back as the heart rises. Bending both of your knees as you begin to fold forward. The arms might again lift away from your back. As you lean towards the front, keep the knees out of the lock. The weight sitting forward in the direction of the toes. Now let your hands come back to the ground. Step to your fingertips, find length in your spine, your breath in. And then let both knees soften as you bring your knees down towards the floor. And perhaps come to sit. And I will choose now a quite folded blanket to sit upon, extending both legs out in front. Bringing the right knee to a bend and hugging the foot in towards the buttocks, but keeping a gap between my foot and the extended leg. Maybe flexing the foot on the other hand and other leg too. Bringing your left hand fingertips down lightly behind as another support. And extending the right arm forward between the legs. Use your support as you breathe in to be long in your spine, and then reach forward as you breathe out. Lower your gaze towards the knee, and this is perfect to stay. You could even touch your fingertips to the floor, so reaching forward. Or turn the thumb down and wrap that arm around your knee. Some of you might take the other arm behind the back if you're comfortable with the bind. Keep the foot on the floor and see if you can fold towards the extended leg. Use your breath and either the bind to hold on or the fingertips behind you to guide you forward. If you have chosen to bind, please extend your right arm forward onto the mat and slowly lift up through your spine. The fingertips might stay behind as you bring your knee against your arm against the knee, and come into a twist. Open twist today as you take a couple of breaths here. Then let the pressure go between the leg and the arm. Let the knee fall out towards the side and let the foot slide out long. Stepping now your left foot down and hugging the left foot in towards the buttocks. Again, measure a good distance between the extended leg and the foot. Flexing the foot on the long side. It's now the right hand fingertips supporting you behind, and the left arm extending forward between the legs, thumb pointing up. Breathe in to help you sit straighter. And then on the out breath, starting to lean and reach forward. Lowering your gaze down towards the knees so the neck is relaxed. First option, landing fingertips down, keep reaching forward. Second option, turning the thumb of the hand down and wrapping that arm around the knee. And third and last option, taking the other arm behind to aim for a bind. If you're not in the bind, using that, use the fingertips on the floor behind you to start leaning further forward, keeping the foot on the bent leg grounded and using a longer out breath. If you are within a bind, releasing that bind. And if the arm isn't long, extending the left arm, fingertips towards the floor as you lift up through the spine and create a bit of pressure between your arm and the bent leg. So when your out breath comes, you can twist towards the open side, maintaining that pressure between your arm and your bent leg to assist the twist. On a slow breath in, release the pressure, let the knee fall out to the side and let your legs slide out long. I will come off my sitting support, untangle my blanket to be ready to lie upon, letting the legs be out long at the front. The hands might be supporting by the side on a breath in, and on the breath out, beginning to roll down. You can use your hands by the sides or not, your preference, as you come to lie down on your back, stepping your feet onto the floor. Finding a little movement here across the pelvis. Then raising the right leg up, placing the ankle to the thigh, and then sliding the leg completely across, letting your arms open, and let your legs fall towards your left, keeping your shoulder grounded as you might turn your gaze. Deep, slow breath in and out. Untangling your legs, guiding knees back to center. Arms are soft as you extend the left leg and place your ankle to the thigh to slide this leg completely across. Arms nice and wide as your knees roll to the right. Your gaze might turn towards the left, and you might choose to take a few deeper breaths. Untangling your legs as you bring your knees back up. Lifting both knees towards the chest, give them a good squeeze in. Perhaps opening your knees out wide and enjoying a gentle rocking movement from side to side. Coming towards your Shavasana. So if you don't use any props for it, first option, feet wide as the mat, knees falling in. Constructive rest could be quite soft on the hips, the knees, as well as your lower back. If you have a bolster, that might be underneath your knees, or you could extend your legs out long and let your toes roll outwards. See if the shoulder blades can come a bit closer behind your back, and then let yourself drop into this space. The space of quiet. The space where your breath is accompanying you. A space in which you might enter and choose to meditate. We've used the mudra to create the wind, the air energy. to create a better flow within our bodily systems. Now you might choose to focus more on our mantra, and you could silently repeat to yourself, Om Agnaye Namaha. Om Agnaye Namaha. Om, the universal sound, Agnaye being the fire element, Namaha to instill the fire element. Om Agnaye Namaha. Notice when the mind wanders and gently guide it back to this mantra, staying with it for a little while. Let go of the mantra now and come to settle, just being present with your breath. The energy that you might have created now to be able to adapt more easily to change. The card that I picked for today is from Secret Language of Your Soul. It says, make your life more interesting. You might reflect on the following. If you choose not to, perhaps come back to your mantra. Is there an area of life where you are stagnating or making excuses? Challenge yourself to doing something refreshing and interesting in this area. Something that excites you and makes you slightly uncomfortable. This could be as simple as meeting new people, opening up about hidden passion, or learning a skill you have never made time for. Even if you can't physically do something new, take time each day to cultivate fresh ideas and see things differently. Look at a person or situation that has irritated you from another perspective. Pay attention to people you have dismissed and small wonders you have overlooked. Find something new to appreciate or do every day, and you will naturally begin to value and perform tasks from a place of creativity and gratitude. It is suggested to do so every day for at least 1 or 2 weeks. If an intention arose from this reflection, you might choose to repeat it to yourself 3 times. If not, let this repetition be our mantra, Om Agnaye Namaha. Allowing now your breath to deepen and perhaps bringing movement back to the body. Changing your position from lying to sitting. And perhaps when you rise to sit, open your arms out wide one more time. Maybe signaling to yourself to embrace these new opportunities before you give yourself a good hug around the shoulders, snuggling up with yourself. Then open arms one more time as you breathe in. And another big hug, just the other arm on top. Grateful for what we have, grateful for who we are. As you might dissolve this hug in a prayer position of your hands, Anjali Mudra. And from our expansive hearts, we will bow to extend toward each other. Namaste.